And welcome everybody to another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. I am your host, Adam Costas, with my co-host here, one of the Four Horsemen, Zion Zenith. Unfortunately, Mac is under the weather, but you know what we do. We ride on. The Four Horsemen ride on. We will carry the torch. You will not be forgotten. I'm sure if Mac is up to it, he will pop in. And of course, our angel above, Jeffy T. Throw your fours up, Adam, as we are going to get started today on this edition of Premium Take. So, due to technical difficulties and lack of being the host, I don't have a normal dope intro for you guys to sing along to. You know, I know that everyone's got, Max got the Premium Takes. He's like, let's go. And then you got the 2-minute montage here. I don't really have that here. So, what we're going to do here is just get started with the show. Unless I actually find the intro. Well, that's on the intro. So, ladies and gentlemen, Premium Takes. And just like the Giants offense, we got off to a rough start there for you guys. But hopefully, unlike the Giants offense, we'll give you a little bit more in the second half of this show. So like I said before, Mac is under the weather. We do wish him well. But today, Zion and I are going to take control of the wheel. Mostly me, because Zion doesn't have his thing. So I will be your guide in this journey of sports right now. We're going to get into MLB postseason. I think Zion wants to talk and share his thoughts on what he's seen so far and some of the things that he likes as a new MLB playoff watcher.
Yeah, thank you so much. Rest up, Easy Mac. Hopefully you get soon and you can join us soon next Friday. Hopefully, who knows, you might make a surprise appearance. That being said, thank you guys all for joining us this Friday afternoon. Thank you for hosting, Adam. That being said, MLB postseason, not really an avid baseball watcher. Totally forgot the name of the World Series last week. But honestly, I've been watching when I can throughout the week. And I just been kind of seeing these games and seeing how they unravel. And this is a guy that never really watched baseball entirely in his entire life. But early on, I can kind of see how they rotate their pitches in and out. There's a pitch and count, you know what I'm saying? And all these different kind of techniques that the pitcher uses to try to strike these batters out. I seen, Clayton Crenshaw, one of the best pitchers of our generation, people will say, totally failed and went bonkers against Arizona Diamondbacks and totally messed up that whole game in the first inning, I believe. And when as a new fan of baseball, when I kind of see that, my problem with baseball is it was so hard to get into because it was never exciting for me. It was like, damn, I'm waiting for so long for someone to make a play, and I didn't really understand the game. So obviously, I understand the main concept, but watching that happen and seeing these Diamondbacks and getting to hear the announcers and talk about how the left, the right, and then right side matters as a new baseball watcher, I guess the playoff watcher, I'm like, damn, this is actually pretty interesting. And it's kind of like its own chess match in its own way. And obviously I knew that it's America's pastime. You know what I'm saying? Hey, son, let's go play. Father and son, let's go play catch. You know what I'm saying? I understand the concept of baseball, and I love baseball movies, but just watching the playoffs for the first time, I'm getting to see like the really, as a noob, the dynamics of the game. And then when you also see these pitchers like I forget this other guy's name, I believe is Gray or something like that. Totally, come out there and almost similar, do the same thing, not to the extent, but you're seeing these underdog teams come back and win against teams like the Orioles and teams like the Dodgers, teams that had like records, And when I went back and looked at the World Series and the past championships, I've seen that Texas has been there, Houston or whatever they play for has been there in a while, and it's always these main teams at the top going back to back. But that being said, it's pretty fun watching. I honestly have to admit, I never really thought I would get into it, like sit down and watch a whole game. But not only did I watch one whole game, I actually watched 3 whole games. and I was rotating like 3 whole games multiple days, and on the days I could on commercials, I was rotating to maybe a college sports. So usually I'll put college football. Now that it's every day a week almost, you got college football on Tuesdays if you want Conference USA. And as a college football fanatic, I well, a noob to that sport as well, because I only been watching it after after they started paying these athletes, because I was watching it all the way back in the day, and I only started watching it heavily the past 2 years. But that being said, I was choosing baseball over some of these college games, and it goes to tell you that, hey, MLB, you clearly did something right. Now that I do want to touch on something. I'm sorry for going so long, but now I know the dynamic. Now I didn't watch it, but without the pitches count, I know people used to take all day. Like I used to turn it on and turn the channel and watch these pitches, like try to psych out their opponent mentally. But now with the pitches count, you kind of see something. The pitches kind of manipulating the pitcher's clock and the pitcher's count or whatever it is into their own dynamic. Like the announcer was saying, like, all you have to do is wind it, and you just have to wind it, and that clock means nothing. So seeing these pitchers like take in, like, just using the pitcher's clock to their advantage, and I like the fact that it did speed up the game, because part of my problem with watching baseball is it's so long and the season's so long, and I guess a lot of the dynamics I explained, the high level chess match and all of that, and the strategies, the mental games, that all goes down into the regular season. But I think all this high level intensity play is going on so fast. It happens, but I think it's amplified now that it's the postseason. So as a watcher in the postseason, I'm really happy that I tuned in to some of these games. Thank you, Adam, for letting me have the floor.
Yeah, well, the MLB playoffs, as you know, it's very intriguing. It's probably one of the best playoffs to watch because it gets very intense, especially if you get a good series. It comes down to really like having solid pitching. Usually that's the team that prevails. With this pitch clock, it's going to help.
What up, Alex?
It's going to help speed up a lot of things, as well as speed up the game. Normally, like you said, pitchers usually have a longer time to dissect what is going on, or try to fool the batter into thinking that he's whatever pitch he's going to throw, right? Now you don't have that autonomy to sit there. You're almost like a play clock. You kind of got to get in your head, your rhythm, and that can change the dynamic, because maybe you're rushed a little bit and the pitch comes out slightly higher than it needs to be, and all of a sudden you're hitting a home run or a base hit or something like that, and that could change the game. As for this weekend, we have the League Championship Series coming up. You have the Astros and the Rangers, and then you have the Diamondbacks against the Phillies. And this will get you, obviously, to the World Series here, the ALCS and the NLCS. So right now, it's a battle of the Rangers. They have game 1 on Sunday at 8 p.m., and then the Diamondbacks, then they play a doubleheader on Monday. And then game 2 is also on Monday for the Rangers. Kind of a battle for Texas. Your observations there, Zion, who do you think might win, or who do you like in Texas Rangers? And then we'll get into a little Diamondbacks Phillies.
I'm going to have to go with, let me see, I don't want to mess this up. Make sure I got him right. I like Houston, the team with the H. The H in the store, is that Houston? That is Astros. I'm gonna go with the Astros, man. You got these big boys coming out there and hitting home runs. Like, I don't know who these guys were. Like, honestly, I'm still such a noob. But damn, that was impressive. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and then that wasn't even the best. Like, that wasn't even their best batters too. Like, these homeboys that'd be batting first, like that'll be maybe their best batters. But like these big boys, like, damn, coming out there with gold chains and stuff. I'm like, I see you. Okay.
Houston is the you can say the villain of the MLB. They had some controversy with them. They've won a couple World Series, but people thought they might have, stolen signs and the whole controversy behind them. So them to be back in the World Series is always dangerous. They're a dangerous team. They've been there before. The Rangers, it's been a while. Good for them. Diamondbacks, Phillies. Interesting that the Diamondbacks are in it. As I grew up as a kid, Diamondbacks won their World Series against the New York Yankees. It was kind of sad, but it happened.
Real fast, Adam. I don't want to interrupt your great take, but just side note: if you click on the comment, it'll appear on screen, and then you can say what's up to Raphael and Big Blue. There you go.
Raphael, yes, I was doing that.
Adam is clearly doing everything tonight because I am not logged in, so I apologize, Adam. Thank you so much.
Just looking at the game quickly. Anyways, Phillies Diamondbacks. Enjoy the Diamondbacks. Obviously, they beat the Yankees back in the day. Um, I'm from this. I live near the Philadelphia area. I'm not really rooting for the Phillies, but I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks just because I like the A in their name, Arizona Diamondbacks, and it's also a snake, which is pretty cool. So, who do you got in that game? And then we can move on to Thursday night recap.
Yeah, I did like watching Philly the other night. Go out there and put like 10 ones together. Totally bonkering on the guy's name. I'm a noob, you know what I'm saying? But one of them like hit like Trout, not Trout. Is it Trout? Might be Trout. But that being said, like he ran out there and like he knocked out of the ballpark twice. Got like one runner in to also. But then also you got the Diamondbacks that just been looking like they got it going. Like, and as a noob watching this, I kind of like the announcers are saying like different ballparks come to different things. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you can knock it out at this ballpark, but maybe the way it's angled differently, you might not be able to. But I'm gonna agree with you, Adams. I just think a Diamondbacks is just looking really nice right now to upset the Dodgers to put them out 0-3. I'm gonna go with the Diamondbacks as well. So I was on the Diamondbacks.
Great, and so that's our MLB recap. Tune in next week when we'll probably get a little bit closer to finding out who may be going to the World Series, who may not be going to the World Series, who's going to Game 7 as the playoffs. World Series starts. The last game for the ALCS and the NLCS is October 23rd if they get to a Game 7. So the next 2 weeks is going to really dictate who gets the World Series. Moving on, we're going to go into that. Is right. College football is booming right now. So we're going to go into NCAA football. A lot going on between my team and Zion's team, but just overall some games that Zion's going to have you look at in case you're bored on Saturday afternoon and you need something to do. College football is it.
Yeah, we can't even like the disrespect if I was to talk about any other game this weekend. The big game is the Oregon versus the Washington. We're gonna have to start with that. That game really matters. We might be looking at like the winner of the Pac-12 in this game right here. Whoever wins this game might represent the Pac-12, might even represent if they win the Pac-12. Might even represent the Pac-12 in the college football like playoffs. That's how important this game really is. Reason being is Bo Nix and the defense. I'm not gonna go down the list of name every receiver on the offense, but the Bo Nix and the defense. Oregon is playing in the top 10. Oregon has the top 10 defense. I would say right now a head coach that is looking pretty elite and a quarterback that is probably going to be playing on Sundays. And on the other side, you got Washington. We're one of the best offenses in the country with Michael Penix Jr. and a defense that is in the top 75, I believe in the top 60, could be higher. That being said, though, that is the one I'm really looking at. It's going to be a highly explosive game. Who knows? It is going to be at Washington. So that makes a big difference. Can Oregon go on the road and beat a Washington? We've seen them go on the road and embarrass a Colorado. But can you really go on the road and beat Washington at home? Now, Washington been a respected team for the past years now. And we've seen players play on Sundays recently over the last decade. So that being said, though, that is the main game that I really have the most eyes on. The second game that I have the most eyes on is our game, Adam. Both teams last week, obviously, the rough patch of scheduling that Notre Dame had to go through. And that really was a lot for Marcus Freeman and that football team at one time. Being that they lost to Louisville, they want to go out there and they want to prove a point to SC and knock our playoff chances off. Because of the fact that we are not playing, talking about SC now, we are not playing to the championship level that the nation believes it takes to take down the Michigans, the Georgias of the world. Now, people even saying the Florida State and Alabama still has a chance, because if Alabama wins out, man, that Georgia versus Alabama game is going to be epic in the SEC championship games. But to wind it back, the reason why Notre Dame and SC is so important is that what I just said it. You guys just got eliminated from the college football chances. There's never been a team with 2 losses that's ever made it into the college football championships. But that being said, playoffs. But that being said, you guys are gonna come at hard and try to take that away from us. Because if we lose to you guys, which you guys, a lot of the nation has Notre Dame winning. Reason being is Notre Dame plays better football. As a SC fan, I admit they play better football than us. We haven't been tested, and we shouldn't have been in games where triple overtimes and all this stupid stuff that we shouldn't have been doing. Okay, so that being said, they play better football than us, but can the SC's defense, trying to be unbiased in my take, can SC's defense show up? That is a game that I can't pick right now because obviously I'm going to be biased and I'm going to say that SC's defense can. But before I get into other games, let's just stop on this game, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Adam. He's going to talk about Notre Dame.
Before I do that, I want to just mention two quarterbacks you mentioned in that Oregon and Michael Penix Jr. Two guys you really should be looking at hard as they will be in the top of the draft. Now we obviously know Caleb Williams, who we'll touch on in a minute, is one of the guys trending in the number one overall selection. But if you're looking for quarterbacks, I suggest you sit down and watch this game because there's going to be two quarterbacks that will be. Let's just put it this way: if the Giants end up doing what they're doing, should be in the discussion come April. And not only that, I think this year's class of quarterbacks is going to change the landscape of the NFL. It really is, because there are so many draft eligible players and so many guys that are going to be in the first and second round. I think this is the landscape. And I tell people, I don't mean to go on a rant or go into anything with Giants.
Take as much time as you.
But what I'm saying is this: if you are a team that is picking in the top 5 and you need a quarterback, let's say the Giants, hypothetically speaking, because right now we don't know where they're going to be, but where they're headed, they might be cratering for that. Let's say they're in there, top 5, top 7, whatever. Some people say they'll pick a lineman. Well, if you have Michael Penix, Jarrett, you do it. You pick it. Why? I'll tell you why. You it's like shopping at the store, and the name brand detergent that you buy. Let's use Tide, for example. Sorry, Tide, we're not getting any plugs from them, so but we decided to use them because they're a brand that everyone knows, right? Let's say the big jug, the big jug I'm talking about, the one with the spigot, to get the little soap out. Now, let's say that jug that normally doesn't go on sale is now on sale, right? But you happen to went to Costco's and bought a big jug already that you want to use, right? Are you not going to go buy that jug of Tide that's now half off, almost like dirt cheap that it's forcing you to buy it? Or are you going to say, no, I got, this Tide here, I'll just ride it out? You'd be dumb to not just get that surplus in your house, because once that Tide is that old detergent's up, guess what? You now have that nice shiny one that that you've paid for, that you got because you just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Case in point, there's going to be a lot of guys in the top 10. Two of these guys, that's why I wanted to earmark that game. As for Notre Dame SC, I think it's really going to come down to Notre Dame's offense. Sometimes they get a little stagnant, and they need explosive plays in this game. USC can put up points in bunches when they're on, and in order to beat this team, you kind of have to get ahead. That way Notre Dame's defense doesn't have to worry about the run game. They can just pin their ears back and kind of just go after Caleb Williams. When you have a mobile quarterback in college football, the best defense is a better offense. Got to score touchdowns, big game. I know that they lost already. Notre Dame has had some troubles with some teams here and there. Should have beaten Ohio State, but we didn't. And other big games they were in with Duke, tight games. I think this game is going to be different. This is a game where you need to push the ball downfield. Sam Hartman, I'm looking at you, one of my favorite guys, to look for another quarterback in this draft class coming up who's going to change, when I think he gets to the combine and that pro day type stuff will really show out. This is a game they brought you in here for. This is why they got you, for this moment now. Can you rise above and take down the vaunted Caleb Williams, who I happen to like? I like his backyard nature, so to speak. I don't know how well that will do in the NFL, but ad-libbing always works. Look at Michael Vick. I mean, that guy was the king of ad-libbing in terms of playing quarterback. He was like, oh, wait, I can go this way, I can go that way, I can go back this way, I can go that way. So, it's a lot of fun, and I really want to believe Notre Dame's going to win this game, but I just think USC might be a little too much, and Notre Dame is while they're going to be they're the Fighting Irish for a reason. I just think USC hands them the third loss.
Thank you for that, Adam. when I first seen the schedule, this is the game that could easily put us under. This is the game that could set us on a downward path, and this is the game that scares me. So as a SC fan, I'm taking SC, but this is the game that you guys can come out there and really put some damage to us on in the first 2 quarters, like you said, and it's going to be hard for us to catch up. But I love your honesty, and you guys should have won that game against Ohio State. That being said, though, I did want to touch on two other games that is going on. That is going to be Miami versus North Carolina. Miami did come off of that, let's just not talk about it. Losing last week, and not Duke, I'm sorry, North Carolina, with Drake May, not playing the best football, but still, 5-0. So we got to give it to them. That's going to be an important matchup on ABC at 4:30, 7:30 Eastern. And then we got UCLA and Oregon. That's going to be the late game, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern. That being said, that's to round up college football. Another news I wanna put out there is Deion Sanders came out and said that Shedeur Sanders is going to stay 1 more year. So he's going to come out next year. And the way it looks, he's going to be the #1 pick. That being said, if everything goes right, I see Colorado really using this transfer portal to its abilities, get some big boys up front, and I could really see Sanders coming next year as the #1 pick. Definitely looking at USC and Notre Dame, 2 quarterbacks who will likely come out. Absolutely. One thing that I did want to touch on too that you kind of reminded me on is also Joe ATL at top OT in the draft. Absolutely. Joe Alt. I said ATL. What the hell? ALT. That being said, I did want to touch on something that you said. I hear, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I absolutely 100% agree with you on that. This is at the media I've been listening to. A lot of the media basically are saying that, like, not really that not mainstream media loves him. I'm talking about like medium YouTube channels. So a lot of medium YouTube channels have been saying that Caleb Williams is not to the level of, obviously he's gonna get drafted first, but they like Michael above him, and I understand that point because Michael is Mike Penix Jr. is the more reformed quarterback. But the reason why I believe, and this is not USC bias, I liked him at Oklahoma. This is reason why I believe that he is gonna dominate on Sundays, and my player comp is Patrick Mahomes, is because we see ad libs on the Chiefs offense. We see Kelsey come out and just run around. He doesn't have a designated route, he just goes run around. And we see Mahomes do the exact same thing of Caleb Williams, know how to move and get, like, Tom Brady was Adam, Tom Brady was the best at pocket management, right? And I'm not going to get into a quarterback that plays on our team. That's another stream for another day. And the reason why Brock Purdy is looking so dominant is because the ability, like Tom Brady, I'm not calling Brock Purdy Tom Brady, but like the ability of Tom Brady, he's able to make his reads so fast. Brock Purdy is making his reads so fast, right? So as someone like maybe Patrick Mahomes that don't really have the best offense, only looking at Travis Kelce, sometimes he has to move around, right? And when you see him move around and all that kind of stuff,
Penix Jr. is really good. Sorry.
Absolutely. Penix Jr. is amazing. A lot of people have him second.
He's third in my book. I'm just saying Drake May is #2. Caleb Williams. I mean, the one thing you can't teach with Caleb Williams is just the ad lib factor.
That's exactly my point.
It's something that is interesting to talk about because Mahomes can do it because he's naturally good at it. And I'm not saying every quarterback should ad lib. No, I'm saying if you know how to do it, it's like playing basketball, doing a no-look pass, right? If you don't know how to do it all the time, you don't do it. But if you worked on it with your friends in the backyard and you're confident, you always do a no-look. Matthew Stafford was the king of the no-look before Mahomes did the no-look, right? Now everyone likes the no-look. Matthew Stafford was I wouldn't say the inventor of it, but him and a lot of other guys, like John Elway did it a couple times, where you can place the ball anywhere. I also think it's a baseball background as well. If you have a baseball background, I really do believe it helps you in terms of arm placement with the ball. It means you can throw the ball at many different angles and allows you to have a different radius. Something that I learned from Justin Herbert, who is a great quarterback in his own right, is that when he throws a football to a receiver, he uses the clock method, which is 12 o'clock is like at the top of the route, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. If you can picture hands on a clock, that's how the hands go for receiver, right? So, when you have that little window, those are the type of things you want to see. And if you can ad lib, that'll allow your arm to still try to fit those throws into certain spots when your body is contorting, right? Your body in the NFL, especially nowadays, the blocking is not good because the offensive line play is terrible because they don't block or hit or practice anymore than the way they used to. So that is a detriment to the game that you're seeing now. And so that's why you see a lot of leakage. So with the arm placement and the ad-libbing, it allows you to sometimes have a jailbreak. Someone breaks loose, you can run down the field, and people already know what to do. They'll always be ready. I always say it like this. When you play, there's two types of point guards. There's the one that you play with that you're not getting the ball. You just stand in the corner and, just look at the stars or chat to the crowd. Or there's a point guard who's going to involve you no matter what, which means you have to be on your toes and ready to shoot because the ball is coming your way. So that's what Caleb Williams is. He allows your receivers to have to be on their toes because you don't know. He might throw it across his body all the way across the field to the backside play just because he's, running towards that way or just happens to throw it that way. So you always got to be open. So that's what elevates a guy like Caleb Williams is he can have that little extra factor.
I love that. Absolutely facts on that. And one thing I wanted to point on, absolutely Big Blue in the Bronx. Penix versus Bo Nix to Mao. One thing I did want to point out too before we move on is these kids are like 6, these kids are like 8, right? And like they're watching these quarterbacks nowadays, and now right after the game is done, they go outside and they try out that pass, right? So we've seen the evolution of the game take to the point where now you look at all 32 teams, you don't see a pocket quarterback. Like there's less than 5 true pocket quarterbacks left. I don't even think there's you know what I'm saying? So that being said, these kids are like watching the game, going out there and practicing it really young, just in playing around on the backfield. Then they're going to middle school, they're going to high school, they're becoming quarterbacks. And we have obviously I'm biased because we see Archie Manning Arch go out there and go to Texas, but you see Malachi Nelson, you watch all these Elite Sevens, these high schoolers, right? Go out there and just dynamic as hell now. And, and Malik Nelson is a true freshman. Obviously, he's going to sit behind our second stringer. But when Caleb Williams leaves, we're in good hands. And that's not only SC, that's so much other teams that has all these young quarterbacks that is just so dynamic in so much different ways because the game has evolved to a point where it's like you don't have just that standard pocket quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, he has to be elite. His mind has to be able to read it, kind of like Brock Purdy. I'm not calling Brock Purdy elite, but all I'm saying is his mind is reading it so fast. And when you have a team like San Francisco, it really helps out. But even at that, I'm not even trying to bring up our team, but you can put Brock Purdy on a different team, and he'll still be able to read the field as fast as he reads the field. I'm absolutely amazed with that kid. Sorry to keep on bringing him up. Go ahead.
No. It's Brock. You bring up a good point. With the processing and what goes on with the quarterbacks and getting the ball out and things like that. The one thing I will say about ad-libbing is I'm not necessarily want it for the NFL because, like you said, these guys are running, which leads me to one of my points is you're going to need to now stockpile quarterbacks. It's going to be a thing.
Anthony Richardson, 2 concussions.
Right, because they do get hit. So the problem now becomes is that now you have to draft multiple and when you allow the quarterback to be an extra player on the field, I mean, I grew up in the Steve Young era and the Doug Flutie era, guys who were little scramblers that got on your nerves because you thought you had them for a sack and they go for like a 12-yard gain. Like they weren't like designed runs. They just were scrambling around to make a play and then they would just take off and get the first down. That era, of course, Steve Young, he left the game because of concussions, because he's exposing himself more as a runner. And that's what's going to happen with these players like Drake May. I think what you need to do, or honestly, and that's why I think Jalen Hurts is one of the best at it. And so Mahomes is a little different because he likes a muddled pocket. He doesn't really mind anything. The thing about Mahomes is he throws from any arm angle under duress, under a guy's when guys hanging on him. That's what he does. But Jalen Hurts is kind of the guy I like because he's the prototypical. Why? Because he can pass from the pocket and he can also run, and then he can run off the pass. Russell Wilson used to be phenomenal at this. Now Russell Wilson can't hit the far side of a barn, but when Russell Wilson was in his prime, he was that quarterback that could run around, make a play, throw the ball on a dime, and you're just like, what does he do? And he was smart about it, right? And that's why his career lasted so long. That's why he only got like hand injuries. He didn't really get the devastating knee injury or anything like that. Yes, he was knocked out for the hand injuries, but he didn't get like a broken leg like Donovan McNabb did. He didn't blow out his knee like Dante Culpepper did. He didn't, pull hamstrings like Michael Vick did. Like these running quarterbacks, they
Look at Cam Newton, like you said.
right. Cam Newton. Well, the problem with Cam Newton was he was great. The thing is that when you're that big, they can't stop a guy from running into you like a Mack truck because guess what? That guy knows he can't take a 230-pound man down. So I think the reason why you don't have pocket passers now is because the lines suck. That's why you have to kind of be able to do this ad-libbing. Ideally, you want to be Jared Goff, where you're a pocket passer and you can survey the field, but you don't have the hog mollies in front of you to do that. He's like the Berlin Wall.
Detroit has one of the best lines in football right now. Yeah.
He's got whatever wall you want to say, he's got it. Right. So that's his strength. He also gets the ball out. But what you see Jared Goff do is slide in the pocket. Pocket presence is what these kids lack these days because they're always so quick to run. You don't want to see the running. You want that to be a plan B in your attack, right? You're dropping down. You're saying everyone's covered. Crap. Now I need to run and take off if I have time. Right. And I think those are the things right now we need to look at now. Like Big Bill in the Bronx said, Penix versus Bo Nix. If I unfortunately, I'm probably going to try to tape this game or at least catch the highlights of it because I'll be out with my son, rewarding him for something he did. So good for him. But I may not be able to catch this game or catch part of this game. These are two guys I'm looking at. I loved Bo Nix last year. I was banging the table for him to come out. I also love Penix Jr. coming out this year. And like he said, if he's down there, Giants pick him. I don't care. It's time to move on, and we'll get into the Giants in a little bit because I'm sure people have thoughts about what's going on. But to me, that's a recap of the NCAA for me, at least. I don't know if Zion, you have any more games you want to chit chat about? No, good. Okay, so
I'm good. Let's get it.
So we will go back and recap that ugly game quickly for Week 5. The Thursday Night Football recap. It was Kansas City, Denver, in an absolute snooze fest of a game. Kansas City is interesting to me. They're lacking that alpha receiver, and it really shows you why Tyreek Hill was such a prominent figure on their team because of how he changed the defense. I thought when the Giants got Waller that Kansas City model was the model to go for. What I figured out is no, it's not. You need an alpha receiver to really make your offense go. If you look at them that's why you get paid. I know they try to pay tight ends, but if you don't have a Kelsey or Waller is not as effective because of certain factors, you're essentially doing nothing, right? With Tyreek Hill, he allowed Kelsey. Now Kelsey's still getting the ball, and they're kind of doing like you said, running to a spot and just throwing it. But when you have that alpha receiver, which they don't have over in Denver, it changes the complexion because now you got more one-on-one coverage. The seam's now open because the safety who doesn't have to sit on the middle of the field because your receivers are booty. He is free to roam now. Like, for example, the Miami game last week, we'll talk about that real quick. Just one play in the game against the Giants. The safety comes crashing down on the tight end, right? Because obviously he thinks the tight end's going to catch the ball. Not even a great tight end, but you have an alpha receiver just take the top off of defense and Tyreek Hill. That's what it does to you. Those type of mistakes happen when you have it. Now, if they don't have Tyreek Hill, probably not. They're probably not making that kill shot, and whatever is happening is happening. A mental error. We'll get into that game in a little bit, but to just give you what I'm talking about, kind of put a bow tie on it. That's why you need to play. Denver, Russell Wilson. I don't know. I think we might have seen the last Russell Wilson this season. He's not very good right now. There's nothing you can say about it. 95 yards will not cut it for the amount of money that you pay him. There's no explanation. Mahomes still puts up 300 yards. Defense comes to play for Kansas City. Good job by Denver their defense trying to do their best to keep their team in the game. But just wasn't enough when you get that putrid of offense and you get turnovers and you get fumbles, you get interceptions, especially against that big team. It's hard to come back from.
Absolutely. I don't know if you was done talking, Adam, or if you got cut off. Hopefully, if you was
No,
done talking.
I am done. I am done. Your thoughts on
All
the
right. All right. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's just start with the Broncos. You said it perfectly. One week it's one receiver, the other week it's another. You know, we've seen rookies like Reggie Rice go out there and bring himself to life over the past couple of weeks. But you know, they started throwing the ball to Watson. You know, and they got Scatlin that hasn't caught a pass, or got caught one pass this season. And then you got that got Tony that they tried getting involved. They thought Tony was going to be the guy week one. Obviously, that didn't work out, and his targets kind of progressed throughout the weeks, and he's mostly just a design plays that they come in and he maybe have like 3 design plays a game that they get him the ball, so he's not it. And then you got Sky Moore that they try to get involved, but then he's not it. You know what I'm saying? So then you go back to the guy that just runs around and catches balls no matter what, in Travis Kelce. But that being said, that's not going to win you teams. That's not going to win you games against the Eagles of the world and the San Franciscos of the world. And I'm sorry, I know you're the division champions. I know you're the Super Bowl champions. But at the end of the day, that's last year. It's different. It's this year. And this year, San Francisco be looking really good. And the Eagles are looking sloppy but winning games. You know what I'm saying? And the Buffalo Bills, let's just keep it in-house. The Buffalo Bills right now will beat them. The Miami Dolphins right now will beat them. You know what I'm saying? Jacksonville Jaguars beat them. Beat them. No, they lost against Jacksonville. I'm sorry. But that being said, I see teams like Miami. I see teams that's Buffalo that I would easily pick over the Chiefs right now. And no disrespect against the Chiefs, they're probably gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? My pick to win the Super Bowl, Chiefs versus San Francisco. Change that up real quick. But that being said, yeah, what Adam said, they need a number one receiver. Getting and who knows, Reggie Rice, that might be you. Getting to the Broncos. It's a rebuild, man. Sean Payton. Strip it down. You tried, you tried, but it's not gonna work. You can't come back and compete. You have to just strip it down and rebuild. Jerry Judy, I don't know if I want you on the Giants, honestly. You go out there and you disrespect the legend like Steve Smith. I don't know, man. A criticism. We don't need that type of energy on this team. A lot of fans want Jerry Judy, or at least some fans on Twitter want Jerry Judy. Like, I don't want him on the Giants. That is going down a nightmare that we don't want to be down. Not saying that Jerry Judy's not going to succeed in the league. I'm just saying, for those who know what happened in that whole Steve Smith scenario, didn't really like that engagement. And also, that being said, you know, you what do you bring into a culture that is a losing culture? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to bash on Jerry Judy or nothing like that. I'm just saying that the Giants is losing and the Broncos is losing. So strip both organizations down. And I'm sorry I tied in the Jerry Judy point real fast. But to get focused on the Broncos, Adam said it perfectly. Russell Wilson, you look like your age. If Sean Payton can't even fix you, then I don't think we have any hope, because of the fact that yes, you can go out there and you can get stats. And we all use stats for everything. But this is the time where we use the definition of stats can lie. Like, Russell Wilson's the definition of lying stats. You go look at Russell Wilson's numbers and then you think like, oh yeah, this is really good. You know what I'm saying? But then at the end of the day, you go watch him play and you're like, oh no, it's not good at all. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, don't want to really bash these teams. One is going to be in the Super Bowl, the other one's in the rebuild. And yeah, that being said, back to you, Adam.
Very, very well said. I think Sean Payton got a little bit of a wake-up call with his team. Obviously, not very good, but we'll see what happens. I mean, they're clearly tanking for Caleb Williams at this point, trading off, cutting off Frank Clark. They don't even need to tank. Their team is terrible. Don't ever disrespect Steve Smith like that. Agent 89 called you out. He was a man who was going to apologize. So you got to understand, Jerry Judy, Steve Smith talks from his heart, and sometimes he'll say things that he doesn't necessarily mean, or or it may come across as the wrong thing, so he wants to correct it. And he did not correct it. He wanted to apologize to you, so that was it.
And Adam, real fast. I'm sorry to interrupt your point.
Go
Who's
ahead.
and you can say pass, because who do you think the number one cornerback in the NFL is right now? Like
Corner,
playing right now this season, just counting this season, not the whole career. This season alone, who's the number one cornerback?
the number one cornerback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you some stats because I did some research, and I obviously didn't do some research. My research, the guy did some research for me, and my research was just to go on Twitter. All right, let me show you the stats I pulled off from Twitter. That's my research. Thank you to the guy who did it. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but I copied it in my note. I would say, in a point of shutting people down, Patrick Surtain.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's pretty good.
Patrick Surtain. So the first game, I believe this is in order. They played. Who did they play first?
You mean game one?
Game one
Um,
was against Oakland, correct?
yeah, the Las
So
Vegas.
let me just go from him. This is Patrick Surtain this season. Devontae Adams, 5 targets, 2 receptions, 3 yards. Okay. Terry McLaurin, 0 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. Tyreek Hill, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 26 yards. DJ Moore, 6 targets, 3 receptions, 52 yards. Garrett Wilson, 4 targets, 1 reception, 11 yards, 1 interception. Drop my phone. This guy is shutting down the best receivers in football, bro. Shout out to Patrick Surtain. They should be talking about this guy more. I don't know. I honestly don't watch mainstream media. Maybe they were. But that being said, I watch a little bit. But that being said, best cornerback in football right now, man. He shut down Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, and Garrett Wilson. And I want you guys to go check all those other guys. Go check the other weeks, putting up stats. You know, obviously Oakland sucks. They don't know how to use Devontae Adams. That's a story for another day. They don't know how to use their team. I can't stand Oakland. I'm sorry for dwelling on them week after week, but that's another one. Just throw him the football. Go right ahead, Adam.
Well, yes, that is true. Throw him the football, but we'll see. Enough with these talks. Patrick Surtain's on a defense that's really keeping the team in the game, but obviously not enough. But we're going to recap week 5. So here's how it's going to go. I've tallied up all the scores. I've tallied up all the losses right now. I'm going to count them real quick as we go, just so we know. Just give me 1 second.
And grab some water real fast, and then I'll hold it down. I'm sorry.
This is great TV, folks. 7 wins for Mac. 7 W's, people. That's how we put this on here. 7 dubs. Means he won 7 weeks. I'm not going to give you the record. Doesn't really matter. I just count the dubs.
Yeah, just count the dubs, and I'll hold it down. Sorry for disappearing on you. I'll let you focus now. But yeah, people, as Adam tallies that up, thank you, Adam, for doing that and keeping track. I just want to talk about that. Like, you know, just these teams that like we thought was gonna be something and was nothing. I'm not trying to be mean, but
I know where you're going with this.
it is what it is, right? And that being said, like Denver, we thought that was gonna go out there and at least compete. What's up, Miss? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Denver, we thought they was gonna go out there and compete. I don't want to get too deeply in this conversation. We'll probably have it later on in the show or to wrap up the show. But the Giants, we thought we was going to go in there and compete, and we'll probably talk game for game. So we'll touch on the Giants in a minute. Oakland, I had them losing, but we thought that it could work. We maybe thought they could be competitive. Minnesota, we all kind of felt like it was last year's schedule with that 1 wins, one loss, 1 point wins and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And look at them, you know. So it's funny how the NFL, you know, you may think something, you may predict something in the offseason, and then the on season, in season, it's all like, that's why we love it, and that's why we have that saying, any given Sunday. Let's go, Miz. Tell Adam I called him 3 times in the last 2 days. Tried to reach out, but I understand. I feel you, Miz. We will get Adam when he's ready. He can call you. That's between you and him. He's probably busy, but when he feels like the time is right, he's gonna give you a call. Time heals everything. Another horrible year. Absolutely another horrible year with the Giants, man. But you know
Well,
what? I'm
we'll get it. We'll get into the Giants in a few minutes
Mhm.
in terms of where I do believe we'll be headed for a quarterback, but we'll get into that in a minute. But like you said,
Absolutely.
things happen for a reason. This is why the NFL season is the NFL season. We had high hopes for the Giants, and they've fallen flat in their face. And it's not even. Before we get into the Giants quickly, the thing I want to say about them is it's not the way. It's not about the losses. We kind of figured they might stumble at the gate. It's the way they've been losing. That's what the problem is for me. The embarrassment week after week is just not acceptable. Being down 28-0 to Arizona, unacceptable. Getting the doors blown, they've lost by double digits in every one of their games, and that's probably not going to change on Sunday. That's the problem that I have with this team. You could go out and beat the Minnesota Vikings and be down a score and lose by a score. I could take that shit. I could take that losing. It means you're still close. This losing means we have to strip it down. But like I said, we'll get into that in a minute. Let's get into the scores. So, ladies and gentlemen, for week 5, the scores go as follows. Mac with 7 wins, Zion with 7 wins, and of course, your champion, again, for week 6, number 6, is me, the mighty me. Not by much, by one little measly win, but that's all that it takes to do it in week
One,
4.
you
Me,
gotta be hating me.
one measly win. So
Congratulations,
now,
Adam.
the games that we go, let's go down the games and kind of see where we kind of fell off. So
I had some weird picks last week.
yes, we
Trying
did.
to catch up.
Yes, you did. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, let me just go down and see. I like this game. First off, I love football at 9 a.m. Breakfast, coffee with football, eating at lunch. My wife doesn't like
6
it.
p.m.
My wife doesn't like it as much, but still, it's all right. But we all picked the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me just double check. Yes, we all picked the Jaguars in this game. Oh, actually, no. Excuse me, I lied. I picked the Bills. Shame on me. The Bills, who I thought coming off a win against Miami the previous week was going to come in and handle business against the Jaguars. Jaguars saved their season, I do believe. I know 3-2 doesn't mean they're saving their season, but I think they saved their season. And the Bills lost a lot of players last week. A lot of players.
We have to go number 1. I don't think this team is going to be that big, but we'll tackle that topic later. Go right ahead, Adam.
I mean, so for me, it was kind of just interesting to see the Bills lose a lot of guys, but they still were in it in their defense. I know Giant fans are talking about, hey, we're going to face the Bills and all this. The Von Miller's coming back. Gregory Rousseau returned to practice. They're the leading sack team. I think they're going to come in with a get right game, but this game for Jacksonville was it. I am the loser in that game. Any thoughts before we move on quickly to the next game? Don?
Oh, no. Move right ahead. Move right ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the next game that we all picked quickly was the Texans, and the Texans who they play. Sorry, the Texans versus the Falcons.
The Texans versus the Falcons.
Man, we all picked the Texans, clean sweep. We believe. Listen, D'Amico Ryan's got that team playing well. C.J. Stroud's out there. I don't want to use the term balling, even though he is balling, because I know people take that out of context. But he's out there doing what he needs to do.
Can I just time out, bro?
Yeah.
Let me just time out real fast. What's with the Texans, bro? It's like we have the core. He goes out there, that first quarterback taken, balling. We have Deshaun Watson balling. We have C.J. Stroud balling. So, like you said, like I just don't want to jinx it. Probably just did. But hopefully Stroud can have a fan. Hopefully the Texans can get that franchise quarterback for once. You know what I'm saying, Adam?
I mean, they did, but they gave him up to Deshaun Watson. But they got a guy who's a dog, and C.J. Stroud, who I thought was a number 1 pick coming out. I thought he was the better of the 2 quarterbacks, more ready. If the Giants had failed in season number 1 instead of season number 2, he'd probably be on the New York Giants right now. But with that being said, D'Amico Ryan's got this team fired up. I did not see that coming with Atlanta, but Desmond Ritter put the team on his back a little bit, so That's what it was, and Desmond Ritter, who is a third round pick, coming into his own. I mean, the thing is, here's the thing. We put a lot of these guys on pedestals too early. We don't get to do a lot of development with these guys because we want them to win, 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 win. And this year, when we get to the Giants, this is why I would say if I was them, I would take a quarterback because you're going to have a guy who can usher somebody in. You don't need to put the pressure on a guy, right? Same thing with Desmond Ritter. He had Marcus Mariota in front of him to kind of ease the pain, and then he got into the back end of the year, and then now he's the starter, right? And they're trying to figure out if he's the guy or is he's going. They're going to move. I would say move forward with him because again, development is not linear, right? Everyone tries to believe that, but talent dictates where they're going. Anyways, I went on a tangent. Atlanta saved their season. They're a surprise team. We want to talk about surprise team. Atlanta Falcons are surprised. Any thoughts quickly on that?
Yeah, I would say I was looking into Atlanta a little bit more deeper this year. Arthur Smith, shout out to him, man. He's appearing on Pat McAfee every Fridays now. He has a little segment. I don't know if it's gonna be every Fridays, but he's been appearing these past couple of Fridays. And when you really look at this Atlanta team, they have a defense. Go look they have veterans and have a young defense. Go look who plays on that roster. Atlanta has a defense. I mean, you look at the offense. Bijan Robinson, he's give him the football. Give him the football and let's just the offense should run through Bijan Robinson. Desmond needs to develop. He's still making some young mistakes as he should. But once he develops, you have Kyle Pitts there. You have Drake London there. That you have can't believe I'm choking on this guy's name, Holland there. But that being said, if you really think about it, the teams that they lost to, I can't believe I'm saying this too, is teams like the Lions. The Lions is playing aggressive, good football. 60 minutes, we're gonna punch you in the face football. Bite up your kneecaps, what Dan Campbell says. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, who's just playing really good football too. Made second home in London, just dominating teams that come to try to take them out of London. It's just crazy, right? They're beating teams like the Panthers, they're beating teams like the Packers, they're beating teams like the Texans, they're beating teams they're supposed to beat. And when you have someone like Bijan Robinson, put the team on his back. We've seen it at Barkley. We've seen Barkley's rookie season. We've seen Barkley literally carry this team for the last 3 years, 4 years. Then Bijan Robinson is going to do the same thing. What's up, Almighty Finesse? Bijan Robinson is going to do the exact same thing. And let me remind you, like, they got the Commanders up next. That's a winnable game. They got the Buccaneers up next. That's going to be a tough out for them, but that's a winnable game. They have the Titans, the Vikings, the Cardinals. I honestly, they don't see a really good team besides the Buccaneers, if you want to consider them good. They don't really see a really good team until week 12, and that's the Saints. But then, like, look at Atlanta's schedule. They could easily be, if it continues and they really play good football, they could be a double-digit win team this year. I'm not saying they're going to be, but they have a good defense. They have Bijan Robinson, and they have a coach that I don't want to jump to conclusions, but he knows how to coach football. Or this man knows what he's doing, and he knows his vision, and the players are executing his vision. I can't say the same about other teams in the National Football League. Go right ahead, Adam.
Almighty Finesse, thanks for stopping by. We're going to try to speed these recaps up so we can get you guys
absolutely
into the real football. Why I talk about the past when we have the future we can talk about. Right?
That's true.
So
I'll let you. I'll mute my mic. I'll let you run it through. I have no discussion. Just run through the whole weeks. Let's get
Panthers, Lions. I think you picked Carolina. I can't believe you did that. Mac and I both picked the Lions, so we were both right on that one. I don't know what you were thinking with that. I mean, the Lions.
Catch up on some
the Lions destroyed them, but
I knew the Lions are going to win the game. But just that chance that Carolina won, I would have been.
There's a comment in the chat where I think they said Miz said something about they're the third best team. Hell, they might be the second best team. You know? I would love to see them in the championship game against either San Francisco or the Eagles, just because they.
I would love to see the Lions and San Francisco 49ers. I'm not being an Eagles hater. As much as I respect Kelsey, I would love to see him get another one. But I would love to see the Lions in the San Francisco. Go ahead.
That's not a trap game. Okay. Anyway, so let's go. Colts, Titans. I know what I picked. AR-15. I picked that with the win. You picked the Colts as well, and I do believe Mac picked the Titans. Yes, he did. Let's go down list Giants, Dolphins. You were the only one that picked the Giants. Me and Mac picked the
That's me.
Dolphins. I mean, my God, 16 points we lost by. Terrible, absolutely terrible. The Giants. Since we're on the Giants, let's talk about a few of the things that a lot of these people are talking about right now quickly, so that we can get that out of the way. I feel bad that we took a step back. I didn't think we would be this bad, but the Giants are absolutely terrible. It starts with the offensive line. It also is their quarterback. You can't tell me he's not part of the problem. He's damn now not the damn solution. So he's not the elixir. If they have a chance to get a quarterback, it is time to do it. It's time to pull the Band-Aid off and make the move. Do the smart thing. You know. I mean, I'm just
I had to
so
try to come back and get some wins
yeah,
on these
he tried to
guys.
come. Well, he tried to come back. He thought he got cute. He got cute and thought, "Oh, the Giants might win." I mean, listen.
Shush.
Welcome to my island. But all is welcome.
I'll check you in a moment on the reservations.
The concierge will be with you to tell you what amenities you have on my island. But the thing is this: why the Giants have basically a offensive lineman off the street starting at right tackle, right guard that's a turnstile, a left tackle that was crying after the game. But give me a break. This team, Tyrod Taylor gets hit, he gets blown on wrong, he falls over. I know Jones.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna pick Dawan Taylor upsetting his team he used to play for next week. That's what I'm gonna do this week. Sunday Night Football. The Giants are gonna go in there and upset the Bills. Watch it.
Well, the thing is,
Let's go, Taylor. We believe in you.
People say that Daniel now is injured. He has a back and neck injury. Okay, and this is going to be one of those things where if the Giants want to get out of the contract, that's how they're going to frame it. Here's a couple scenarios for you for this pick. Giants end up with a pick. They could do what the Giants do, and that's run it back, which is dumb, which would be an absolutely dumb thing. And Brian Daboll and Joe Shaden should be fired immediately on the spot. They could easily draft a lineman, which would be fine, and high five it. But if you don't draft a quarterback in the second round, I don't want to hear it. We know Daniel Jones is not the answer. Why in this draft class where there's 24 eligible guys? Think about that, 24 draft eligible guys, and I'm hearing upwards of 6 to 8 in the first round that could have first round grades, right?
Yeah, I want to just say this. Oh, continue. I'm sorry.
But this is what I don't. Who knows? I hope not. I hope we don't win against Washington. But the point is that this team is in shambles, and you need to draft one as insurance. And you can't be negligent, gross negligent. I just told you in the college segment, this is like buying that extra detergent. Just because you have one now and you think it's okay, it may not be the best detergent, gets the clothes clean, but it really is terrible. It's the knockoff, watered down version. And you have a chance to get some of that good detergent, you need to go buy some. You need to go stock up, get some guys in house. Tyrod Taylor is a free agent next year. Daniel Jones' injury history. Listen, 4 out of the last 5 years, the guy has gone out with injury. 2 out of the last 3 years, he's gone out with a neck injury. So, that's big stuff. This is bad news. When he's not playing, he's not even on the practice field. At least the other neck injury, he was on the practice field a couple days later. He wasn't even in the practice field. So, and he even said some dumb shit about if he gets hit, it could be a bad thing. I think this team, I'm not saying I'm not saying we are going to win a lot of games, but in this case, if you're smart, rip the Band-Aid off, just tank. Daniel, I'm sorry, you'll be here next year if you're healthy to usher in the young guy because you're a good guy, you're on time, you work hard. But I definitely don't want you teaching my quarterback how to play quarterback. But you could teach him the ways of being a leader and showing up in some of the traits that Eli Manning showed you. But on a side note, let's move on.
I would say this real fast. Like, yeah, we will see what happens after this game. We're probably going to be a fire sale, miss. Trade Barkley, absolutely agree. Before trade deadline. I will say this though. I'm at the point where if you pick in the top 10, even the first round, if you pick in the top 10 Giants and you really like a guy, you go out there and you pick your quarterback, because next year, yeah, there's gonna be Sanders, and yes, some quarterbacks might go back because NLL, that 23rd list is gonna drop to like about, probably like about 13 really good ones. But that being said, a lot is gonna go back, and they're not college athletes no more. They're professional athletes in college. You gotta, Sanders just got 4.2 million or something like that, right? So they can go play an extra season and get the bag. Maybe not that much, maybe a million. You know what I'm saying? But they can easily go get 1 million or 2 million in college. Not easily, but it's a different day and age. These college players are dripped in chains and stuff like that, right? So that being said, you get your quarterback now. I don't want to chance it next year, and we're trying to just trying to be creative. You know what? We tried offensive lineman for the past 10 years. No. Like, I understand the concept of building the team, build the trenches first. Guess what? We've been trying that. You like a quarterback, you go out there and you take them this year, because that is your job on the line, and that's what I think Brian Dable is probably gonna do, is take his guy. Brian Dable needs
He
his
should.
guy.
He should. It's malpractice if they don't draft a quarterback in round 1 or 2 at
Yep.
best, right? Guys like JJ
Absolutely.
McCarthy, he's moving up draft boards. Michael Penix Jr., one of my favorites. Bo Nix, I like a
Bo
lot.
Nix.
There's a lot of guys in here.
There's still Quincy Edwards that's no one's talking about no more.
Queen
There's
Ears from Texas.
Quincy Edwards plays from Texas. There's Dylan Gabriel. Obviously, he's going to be a later round quarterback. But Dylan Gabriel, shout out to Hawaii, Mililani. Dylan Gabriel, Oklahoma. Go right ahead, Adam.
Michael Pratt from I think
Pratt Jr. Cam Wisens.
Right. There's a lot of guys in this.
AJ Jefferson's, like, they're not, obviously all the guys we're naming guys is not going to be number one,
but
round one.
But there's a lot. There's a lot of good players. There's a lot of guys you can get in the first and second round. You've got to do it. The reason why I say it might be in the second round, even though I want it to be in the top 10, if we're in the top 10 and there's no excuse, is that they'll frame it well, because Maro will be like, well, my guy DJ's here, and Joe Shane's got to go in there and put his what on the table and say, listen, man, look, we did it your way. He's going to be here next year. We're not going to let him go. He's going to get his swan song. Right, DJ will get a chance to start, and if I'm Joe Shane and Brian Dable, I let him compete, because if we're picking the top 10, I'll tell you this right now, folks, we're not going to be miraculously that much better in 2024. We'll be a good team. We might win some games because of our schedule changing up and being weaker, right? So we may not have the chance to get up there, like Zion says, where the quarterbacks are going to be. Like right now, we're talking about maybe six guys right now who possibly could be in the first round, 6 to 10 who can go in the first 2 rounds, right? So don't be those teams to be stubborn to say, listen, we're going to run it back with Daniel, who now has a neck injury, who, if I'm the Giants, I'm looking at that, like the longer he sits out, the more likely you're getting a quarterback, regardless of anything, because I can't take that risk. I just can't. I'm sorry.
And I'm not trying to drag this on, and you're absolutely 100% on that, Adam. And I will want to say, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to be a dick though, but like I kind of happy. I'm not even trying to be like this. I'm not saying happy he got injured, but the Giants organization, it couldn't happen at the best times. We like, yo, let's evaluate this team. Let's really evaluate this team. Tyrod Taylor, go back there and get the helm for a game against one of the best teams in the NFL.
Well, they're playing him until they're eliminated mathematically. That's what the Giants do.
Obviously.
The problem with the Giants is they can't ever tank on a season like these other organizations.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because Maro will not allow that. However, if the Giants lose to the Commanders and Jets after the Bills, which I think they're going at least 1-2, they're either beating the Jets or they're either beating the Commanders. I don't think they beat both, just because I just don't believe they're that good of a team offensively. Defensively, we can hang with those teams.
We have problems.
But my point is that the Giants need to just punt the season and start trading guys away. If we first off, I think Tyrod Taylor is going to look better in the offense than Jones is. So I think we are going to play well. But I think Tyrod is going to move the ball.
It's going to be an interception or two.
And Miz, there are no more Jones haters. He's not good. You can try to convince me of it, but he's not good. And I'm not going to go tit for tat.
Absolutely. I mean, like, thoughts on that, Adam? The whole defense, honestly.
Right. And so,
Besides sexy Dexy, I like
but
him.
anyways, we're going to move on from him. But the defense needs to do what they need to do. Anyways, getting back to these games, I think we have a few more to quickly go over before we get into these college football. See how we go down this tangent? That's what the Giants make us do, man. They make us go down a tangent. All right, quickly. Saints, Patriots. You picked the Patriots. What an ugly loss for the Patriots. I
Jesus,
was
no.
the smart guy and picked the Saints. And Mac also picked the Patriots. You got what elixir were you guys drinking? My God! Now
He
this is
thought he was gonna get his. We picked Bill Belichick. We didn't pick the Patriots. We picked Bill Belichick,
well,
Adam.
Bill Belichick is going to the curb right now. The Ravens. I will give my hats off to you as T.J. Watt and the Ravens did their Steelers did their thing. They won the game against the Ravens.
No.
Me and Mac both picked the Ravens. Good job on that, Zion. Next game, Bengals, Arizona. I am afraid that you were the closest with the blowout of the Bengals, 38-10. It was 34-20, 1 digit off. One digit, a couple digits off for you, Zion. It's a good pick there. Uh, Mac picked the Bengals, and I jumped on that Joshua Jobs bandwagon. Look at me, I was an idiot. And thankfully, I didn't put any money on the game because I would have been a real idiot. Yeah, McKinney's probably played his way off the team. He's not acting. He's not acting as a leader should. But that's here nor there. Eagles. You picked the Rams in the upset special of the week, which was
They almost
what
had
do you
it,
want
bro.
your shekels on that game? Oh no, that was Mac picked the Rams. You also picked the Rams. So you were like, oh, brazen, and I was not stupid. I picked the
Puka. They
Eagles.
had Puka.
I sure as shit, I picked the Eagles, and away they go, 5-0 that they go. The Jets Broncos. I picked the Jets.
Hey, yo, pause, pause. Eight targets on 118. You got to give the salutes to Cooper Cup doing his thing first game back. Go right
Yes,
ahead.
yes, great job by that receiving core. Can't wait to watch them evolve as the season goes along. You also picked the Jets, and Mac picked the Jets. A clean sweep. Chiefs, Vikings, we all picked the Chiefs. No need to go into any detail. Here's where it gets really fun. Cowboys, 49ers. You two both picked the Cowboys, and boy, did you get embarrassed. And me, the one, this is probably where the win set me apart from both of you, was I picked San Francisco. 5-0. And the last one was we all picked the Packers, I do believe. Yes, we all picked the Packers. So that was it for week 5. Like I said, the winner of week 5 was myself. And now what we're going to do is get into the week 8, the week 6 scores this week. Preview that for you guys. Again, I have 8 W's as to Zion and Max 7. They both got 7 each. Let me just clear the board here, folks. This is old school for me. I'm an old school soul, so I'm typing on a computer right now the names of the teams so we can get this started. I know this is great radio, but thankfully we're on radio, not TV, so you can't see me do this. So, with that said, we shall move on to week number 6 in the NFL. Boom. So, with that being said, we've already done the Thursday night game has come and gone. We've previewed that game. It was obviously caca. But if you're like me, you're gonna get up at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time and get ready to watch some football. A 12-hour day is coming at your way this Sunday again, 10:15. Ravens, Titans. I can't pick for Mac what his team is, but if Mac, you're listening, yeah, we're just going to be Zion and me this week picking the team. But Zion, who do you have, Mac? I'll
Absolutely, man.
Text draft.
Text us by Sunday or whatever if you do come up with your picks between now and Sunday morning. Absolutely. I'll have the Ravens. The Ravens in London. Oh no, not playing in London. I'm sorry. They were playing in London, right?
Yes, I think they're in London. They're overseas. Yeah. Who cares where they are?
Overseas, yeah. Ravens overseas.
Ravens. So Ravens and Titans. This is a tough one because both teams had a stinker last week. I am going to go with the Ravens again. I think they need this game to stay in the race for the division. As you know, they're 3-2, tied with the Steelers, so they need this game. Ravens for me as well. So next, game on the docket. We're getting to the 1 o'clockers here. 1 o'clockers game I'm very interested in down in Atlanta, in hot Atlanta. Commanders versus the Falcons. This is a big game for both teams. Falcons trying to get their fourth win. Commanders trying to tie up and save their season. I think the Commanders are going to go down and do it after getting embarrassed and having 10 days off. I think they've licked their wounds and they come out and upset the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go on a limb here and say the Commanders.
I like that one, but I'm gonna go against it. It's gonna be all Bijan Robinson and that defense shutting down Sam Howell. I have Atlanta shutting them down in this one. I got Atlanta. You might want to write this down too. I got Atlanta. Let's just go 34, Washington 14.
Okay, well, I guess they're the steel curtain in Atlanta. Moving right along, Vikings.
I do want to make an announcement. If you guys are don't follow us, we're not professionals by all means. I think nobody is, but don't put you guys money on our takes. This is all off of it.
Listen, I don't want you knocking
on
on my door saying we owe you money because you listen to us on Premium Takes. Two jackwagons who are fucking who knows what we've been smoking. Trying to talk to you about fucking football. Give me a break. We're just doing this for fun. Just having fun, keeping up with everybody, keeping up with the Joneses. Anyways, back to the regularly scheduled programming. Vikings, Bears. At Soldier Field, a crappy game. Actually, I'm interested in watching. I'm going to go on a limb here and say the Bears win. Justin Fields has been playing pretty well for the Bears. I think that does not stop against this terrible Vikings defense, and I think their defense came to life last week against the Commanders and really put a hurting on that team with a bad offensive line. Vikings have the same problems we do, bad offensive line. They do however, have Captain Kirk, who does stand in there and make plays. Got to give Captain Kirk, he is better than Dak Prescott. May not be elite, but that guy next year is probably going to take some random team to the playoffs and go to the championship because he is that good. He just doesn't have a defense to help him out. So who do you have?
Yeah, I'm lining the Vikings up and I'm slaughtering them dead, man. I'm sorry, the Bears are gonna whoop that ass. First of all, Jefferson is not playing. Okay, he's not playing. I don't think he's playing. Okay. Second of all, it's gonna be raining. There's thunderstorms on the way. They're gonna run the football, ground and pound. It's gonna be a nasty game out there. Chicago football is winning this football game at home.
And here's a game that's interesting because I like both teams. Seattle versus the Bengals. The Bengals with a bounce back performance against the Arizona Cardinals might have just saved their season to get them back in the race. Seahawks coming off a beatdown of the Giants. They got to go into their bye week. That's probably why they were a little lethargic playing the Giants because they were trying to collect themselves. And they were overlooking us because they were going on vacation. If I was playing the Giants too, I'd also be looking forward to vacation right now. But Seahawks, Bengals, who do you got? It's a tough one for me. I'll let you go first while I decide.
Yeah, I think if this was at Seattle, I would have had a better chance of taking Seattle. But the reason why I'm going to take the Bengals in this one is because, like you said, the Seattle is coming off of their bye. But here's the thing: the Bengals were losing games off of their own mistakes. We had Higgins that couldn't catch a football to save his life. We had Chase that couldn't really get open just as we seen him get open, and then we had number one, the quarterback that has been playing hurt the opening first half of the season, the first quarter of the season, should I say. That being said, we finally seen a healed Joe Burrow. He looks out there. He looks more comfortable. I have the Bengals representing at home and winning this game.
Well, good. Good that you have the Bengals in this game. I have I can't go against my second team. My second, even though I did last week, who am I to talk, right? I thought they were dead in the water, but I will
healed up.
Get back on that wagon with Joe Burrow. Say, Bengals, sorry guys, I'm not mean to, not count you out, but you look putrid the week before. You look like you were going to be up in the top 10 with us, but I think you get off the mat here, save your season, get back in the race, and that's when the race will really begin for the AFC North. So Bengals, I got the Bengals, and even though it's in Seattle, even though I know it's in their building, this is why Seattle's going to lose because they don't have the 12th man behind them. Okay, another big game here, but it depends on who you're talking to. The 49ers get a little bit of a break here. They play the Browns. I think this is going to be a good defensive struggle, but the San Francisco 49ers are going to keep the train rolling over the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, like I think if you're betting this game, don't obviously you can come on and you can bet whatever you want. But I honestly, I take the Browns at half, but then I take San Francisco later on. San Francisco will cover that 9.5, but they probably won't cover. I believe I don't know what it is at half. It should be like 3 or 4. Should be 3 at the half. Might be 4.4. I think it's gonna be a close game at half. I'll take the Browns with the points, but San Francisco is gonna blow them out in the second half.
So
So
you're
San
taking San
Francisco.
Francisco. I know that was a convoluted answer to
That's
give
right.
you your DraftKings update as well as your team, but in the grand scheme of things, he's picking the 49ers, folks.
Mhm.
I just think with DTR, who I happen to like a lot, I think it's going to be too much for him to overcome. Deshaun Watson obviously is not playing. You know, he's nursing that team. You know what it is with Deshaun Watson? Let's be real, homie. You're in Cleveland. I get it, bro. I get it. Things linger in Cleveland, if you know what I mean. All right, next game on the docket is the New Orleans Saints, who had a blowout bounce back win against the Houston Texans. This is a game I'm looking forward to, but this game I'm picking the Saints. I think this is where the Saints can get up some ground and start to cement themselves as a play, starting to become a playoff team. I really do like what they're doing over there. Their defense is there's a new thing that the people like to say. The word is mid. It's short for medium, middle of the road, middle of the pack. I don't know. The kids are saying it these days. Their defense is above mid, and they're better than mid. They're almost top five. I'm going to pick the Saints. Who do you got in this game? Even though I like CJ Stroud.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me too. I do want to follow you on the Saints, but I'm probably gonna go different just because the Saints are coming off of that big win, but not against a bad team. Same kind of way I feel against Seattle. You're coming off a big win, but against a bad team. Houston's gonna give them all they got, and I think it could come down to it's a pick 'em for sure, definitely a pick 'em, and I'm probably gonna go with the home team. So give me Houston.
Wow, I wouldn't be surprised they win the game. You know, the Texans are really fighting. They're really building. This is what you want to see out of the team: scrappiness, and you don't want to see the doors get blown off every week like the Giants. They might have just stick dynamite on the team and it just blows up. Anyways, next game is the game of the South in the AFC. This could be to determine who gets the wild card and who gets the division. The Colts, Jaguars, we all know Anthony Richardson is on IR for a few weeks. Unfortunate for him, having a great rookie season. But you can see that, you know, the beating, he's going to need to stay in the pocket a little more because the beatings do come. This is what happens when you have a running quarterback. These are some of the things you think about. That's why Gardner Minshew, bing, 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 backup quarterback, can never stock up, is here to keep the season rolling. The Jaguars, I do believe, I'm not picking them to keep the season rolling here. I think the Jaguars coming off an emotional win in London or a big win against a big team, the Buffalo Bills, nothing to sleep on. The Buffalo Bills arguably are the best team in the AFC, and they'll probably prove that to us this Sunday. But I'm taking the Jaguars.
I love that. I'm taking the Jaguars too. I really think that the Jaguars are going to go out there, come back to their actual house, defend home court. I was about to say home court. Defend their home, and I think the Jacksonville's. I believe they see the Saints next, and they see the Steelers. I have them going on a winning streak until they go and see 49ers. So I have Jacksonville winning.
Jacksonville winning. The blonde bomber. You know, I mean, actually, technically, that was Terry Bradshaw. What nobody remembers Terry Bradshaw's career, so let's use it for him. The blonde bomber. Panthers, Dolphins. Let me just say this: the Dolphins are legit track team. They are fast. They can beat you any different way. That wasn't even their best game last week against the Giants, and they absolutely railroaded us. I think they're going to be 5-1 after this game. I'm picking Miami Dolphins. This is kind of the game that I think they'll put another 60 burger on them. They're going to be pissed off that they let the Giants hang around. They're going to be pissed off that they left opportunities. That game should have been like 50 to 10. That's how that game should have been. But thanks to Tua Tagovailoa, Wink Martindale, and Jason Pinnock, it wasn't. But for me, I am picking the Dolphins. Sorry, I'm so rude. I should pick you to go first, and I have not.
No, you're fine. This is fine. I like to hear your opinions. You guys, honestly, I was gonna pick the Cardinals. No, I was gonna pick the Cardinals. I was gonna pick the Carolina Panthers until they won a game, and then they match up against Dolphins. Okay, so
I mean, come on, man.
when you have no offensive line, you can't do anything. It's a team for the future. Yeah, you give them a couple years. Shout out to Bryce Young. Give him a couple of years. Maybe 2025, maybe, but not 2023. Yeah, Dolphins defend home at landslide.
Dolphins in a landslide. Hey, you may want to get your calculators out because the scoreboard is going to
Breaking
light
records.
up. Bing, 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 bing. It's gonna be like a ping pong machine out there. Okay, here it is. The battle of the McDaniels. Josh McDaniels against the Patriots. It's a Raiders home game. I'm going with the Raiders after an emotional win against the Packers and seeing this sloppy Patriots team. I think it's over for you, Bill. I'm sorry. This is where Obi-Wan, gets hit by Darth Vader. It's over. You're passing the torch.
Oh my god.
You're getting killed here. I think Josh McDaniels is
Oh my god. Bro, that's exactly how I feel about this game too. And this is the only time all season, guys. You know how much I hate the Raiders. Promise myself I'll never pick them this year. But this is the only time all year where I agree, dude. I really agree. I agree with your points. But I'm taking the Raiders. Reason being, I think this is the Bill Belichick goes home after this game and just says, I think I'm done. Like, honestly, maybe he's not done. He's gonna still coach, but this is the Anakin versus Obi-Wan on that fire planet kind of moment.
Well, no, it's the opposite. It's going to be when he meets him in A New Hope in the Death Star.
Okay.
And Darth Vader comes back. He goes, "I was once but a learner. Now I am the master, and I'm only the master of evil." Darth. This is basically Bill Belichick. He's going to go up and become some blue dot in the sky, and he's going to come in and talk to Josh McDaniels and say, "The force be with you." You know what I'm saying? My young protege, right? So,
oh my god, I feel you. Okay,
what's going to happen?
Like
right? He's going to get hit. The cloak's going to go, and you think, "Oh, Josh McDaniels gets his win." It's really Bill Belichick sabotaging you later. You win now, my friend, but I will come back with the.
I like that. I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well. I love that. That's facts.
That's a Star Wars nerds out there for you. You gave a little Star Wars reference. Okay, another game of the week, 425. Thank you so much, Fox. Thank you so much. These teams coming out of nowhere. Lions, Buccaneers. I'm going with that team from the Motor City. They are the team. They are the media darlings. They are the ones that came out and put it to the defending champions and told the NFL that we are finally here. The Detroit Lions against the Bucs. I think it could go either way. This is a big game for both teams. Baker Mayfield has been playing well for the Buccaneers, and if it wasn't if it was the old Lions, I'd be picking the Bucs. But I'm riding that. I'm drinking that Lion Kool-Aid right now.
I have the Bucs defending house.
Ooh, we must.
This is why. The Lions won against the Chiefs, the Falcons, the Packers, and the Panthers. What do all of those teams have in common?
They have no defenses.
Well, that as well. But they don't really have a true number one. Like outside of Travis Kelce, they didn't play week 1. They don't have a true number one. Okay. Then they lost against Seattle that had 2 true number 1 receivers in a close game. I think when both receivers with the Bucs and the way the Buccaneers has been playing, they're going to be able to score points on this defense. And I think it's going to be a close game. And I think they sneak out a victory here with a field goal. I really do. I think they're going to be able to move the ball on these Lions because these Lions hasn't really been defending elite receivers. And they're about to meet 2.
The Lions have been lying to you, just like Evan Neal. No.
And if you guys watch this game on Sunday, I want you to really, and please don't think about me, but really, really think about what I said. Watch these 2 receivers show up. This is a good test for the Lions. And like you said, thank you, Fox. But I'm not trying to expose the Lions. I think the Lions is a really, really good team. But let's see them go out there and beat a team with studs. Just saying.
Unfortunately for me, I will not be able to watch that game because I'm in the Philly area.
Oh,
But going on to the next game, Cardinals Rams, another 425 game, another game that I like. My heart wants to pick the Arizona Cardinals because it's a division game, but I really want to pick the Rams so they can get back in it and really, you know, keep in this race. They deserve to be in the wild card hunt all year long. McVay's got this team believing, and I think they get to 500 after this. I'm going with the Rams and Matthew Stafford winning a game at home.
I have to agree, and I just want to be minded for you guys that probably want to maybe troll. Obviously the teams that I mentioned has receivers, but they're just in the developmental process. Getting back to this game, I do have the Rams defending so far by a lot.
By a lot. And then the last 425 game of the weekend, Eagles Jets. I'm not even really worried about this game. It's probably going to be the Philadelphia, not probably, it will be the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't see the Jets having the firepower to beat them. The Jets have a better chance of beating us because we have no offense. They will not beat the Eagles.
This is the way I looked at the game. I wanted to have that team versus team undefeated teams matchup, and then I realized that it's not gonna happen because that happens in week 13. San Francisco maybe may make it to week 13, but when you look at the Eagles schedule, they have the Chiefs coming up in week 11, and they have the Dolphins coming up in week 7, which brings me to my point. They're overlooking the Jets. The Jets are gonna hand the Eagles their first loss this week in week 6.
Wow. He's going with the Jets, drinking the Zach Wilson Kool-Aid. I mean,
I
stranger
don't think you're gonna quarterback
they're,
push on this defensive line. Just saying.
haven't really won a game against the Eagles in their history, so you would be the first
Are
one
you
to say,
serious?
go back and watch. There's some wacky games against the Eagles with the Jets.
Let's go, Jets.
So let's go Jets for him. I'm just going to keep the thing rolling. The Eagles, and of course, we come to the night game after you've had all your fun and eating your lunch, drinking your beers, eating your hot wings. You get to the game of the night, the game of the weekend. Not really. The Giants against the Bills. The Bills coming off not a terrible loss, but a hard fought loss, and lost a lot of guys on the defensive side against Jaguars in London. I really do believe the Bills are angry. They're at home. It's night game. They want to prove to the world they're not going to let a 1-4 team slip up. Remember, they've got to keep up with the Miami Dolphins here to win the division. This is why they must get this game, because the Dolphins, as we said, they played the Panthers. They're going to be 5-1. And so the Bills, who will play the Dolphins again this time, only this time it'll be in Miami at some point, you want to be ready to be able to steal that game. Because if you happen to split the head-to-head and you go with common opponent and you lose to the Giants and they beat the Giants, guess who's winning their division? It's that. This team is going to get the doors blown off. I don't care what anybody says. That defense is the number one in sacks. Our offensive line is number one at giving up sacks. Somebody's got to give. Tyrod Taylor, I hope you have an insurance policy. Tommy DeVito, I hope you're called up immensely. Dan Jones, you're lucky you're not playing in this game because you would be in a body bag. I'm picking the Bills.
I love it. I mean, like, I have to go with the Bills too. Part of me wants to be like, yeah, the Giants, Tyrod Taylor, the narrative, the whole media trying to get you hyped up. You're going against his team. No. He's gonna be running for his life. Yeah, he hasn't been on this team for years. He's been running for his life. And that being said, also too, I mean, like we've seen him play. You know, he's gonna go out there, he's gonna make some good moves, but then he's gonna throw an interception. I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback. But a fumble. There's a reason why he's holding the clipboard and helping out. And
you can't even beat out Daniel Jones. That guy stinks.
Yeah. With that being said, this is gonna be a weather game. I don't know. Barkley's not back yet, huh?
He's questionable. I don't know if he's
questionable. That really deciphers my pick in this game. No, I'm just joking. We're going to Buffalo.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Let me just tell you this: Josh Azudu is the starter. Brent Bredderson's playing guard. I don't
Yeah,
even know who's
no
playing
chance.
right guard. I don't even know who's playing right guard at this point right now. Evan Neal's not even possibly playing in this game.
I honestly think, and then really in my hearts of hearts, you can get the best offensive linemen right now in college and put them on this team, and they'll perform better than everybody.
Yeah, well, they did come from college. That's the problem. A lot of them were from college, so that's not really a good thing to say. You probably want to say you probably can go to I don't know, Japan and get some sumo wrestlers. They'll do a fucking
Yeah.
better job than
But
this.
I'm just saying, rookies right now that's just like probably gonna get drafted in the third could come and play better than these mofos.
You and I could play better than these mofos right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, now I get you. I'm sorry.
listen,
Yeah, now I get it.
terrible. Okay, and they're gonna get their Tyrod killed. Tommy DeVito, get ready, and I hope we get Michael Penix Jr. The other kid I'm looking at is the kid from Tennessee. He looks good too. And this is a fun little nugget, I guess. I don't know. I don't like to put race into things, but this will be the first time the Giants start a black quarterback in the history of their team, and it'll be on prime.
No, they didn't. They studied Geno Smith.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Scratch that. It'll be in prime time the first time, I guess.
Prime time. Gotcha.
But you're right. They did start Geno Smith. I'm so stupid. See, that's what
I know that kind of didn't count though, but that was a major moment, Adam. You should have remembered that.
What happens when you get to Twitter space? You know what I'm saying? You get lost and someone tells some dumb shit and you read a dumb thing. You're like, oh, I didn't know that fact. I'll use that tonight. Way to go, Twitter. Way to fail.
Adam.
Way to fail. Anywho, Bills, Giants, they stink. I hope that nobody plays because I hope that Jory Jackson's on there with ribs. Start a fire sale. John Mara, get over yourself. Get your hand out of your ass and out of the cookie jar.
I think it'll be okay because the Equalizer 3 is finally done. So maybe Tish will be more involved and make some better decisions.
Well, listen, he needs. They did it his way. They signed the quarterback. They ran it back. You can't do it a third time. You clearly know that it was fool's gold. That this is the same roster that it was. Don't try to say, hey, we're gonna draft an offensive lineman, maybe draft a quarterback and bring it back with Daniel because you're not going to be good. Plus, he's already damaged goods. I do not want to traipse a quarterback out there behind a line that's not finished on a rebuilding team with a guy with a bad neck. You know what I'm saying? I don't care when anybody tells me the guy is not in the lineup. He did not practice. He is not even around the team. He's inside getting rehab. This is a serious neck injury. Okay.
Can I just touch on this real fast? Like we all thought Kenny Galladay robbed the bank. Like this guy robbed the treasury, bro.
Oh man, his eye on getting the shots and stabs.
Robbed the treasury, bro. He took 80 plus from us, cuz 80 plus.
I heard a story that makes me not want this guy even more. Is that in the 11th hour he called up Grandpa Mara to get the deal done instead of just negotiating with Joe Shane, who Joe Shane had a number, and it probably would have benefited the franchise with Joe Shane putting the franchise tag on him. Instead, he called up Grandpa Mara and said, I want my cookie, I want my bag. And Grandpa's like, hey, you're going to give it to him. Let's do it. And Dad goes, listen, he can stay up late this one time, but if it doesn't work out or he comes up cranky in the morning, we're done. Well, guess what? He came up cranky. It didn't work. You're not babysitting anymore there, Grandpa. Let me get to work. Let me get my guy. The body language, the way Dable talks about this team, the way the team doesn't rally around him, it's clear that there is a disconnect between him and the players. It's more than just play. It's everything. It's everything that goes on.
Grandpa Myra, I don't want to drag this on too long. We got to get to that Monday night game. But do you think that Grandpa Myra basically he's gonna do his did he do his talk yet? He usually see him around week 6. Apologizing.
He's gonna try everything to. He's gonna try to tell them that they're gonna keep Daniel, but you gotta.
No, he comes to the media and he apologizes. We've seen that every year.
But the thing is this: the fan base go after him. Make sure that we know that you can't run things like this anymore. But anyways, getting to the Monday Night Football game.
Monday night. Let's get
the last game of the week 6. It's the Cowboys and Chargers. Man, I love the Chargers. Man, I hate the Cowboys. But the Cowboys are going to do it to my Chargers. They're going to stop a mud hole in their ass. This is what the Cowboys do. They get embarrassed one week. They come back. They fix it. And then they're going to go stop a mud hole. The Chargers don't have the greatest of offensive lines. They do have a good offense. Their defense is suspect at times. and I do think the Cowboys' offense will be able to hold them at bay. What Dak Prescott, I call him Jekyll and Hyde. Whatever Dak Prescott shows up, that's where the Cowboys will win. If it's Dr. Hyde, they're going to win. If it's Dr. Jekyll, it's going to look ugly. But I think they come back and win this game. I hate to say it, I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys. I think they have to bounce back to stay in the race, to keep in the race, and to make it a race.
Yeah, I need to see a not like a big game. I was gonna say he had a big game against the Patriots, but what I'm trying to say is like I need to see a better game. What I should say is like Dak Prescott. You have a quarterback that is just on roster now that is putting some fire under your belt. And don't get me wrong, give him a couple of years. Maybe Trey Lance can come in. I'm not trying to hate on Dak Prescott, but what I'm trying to say is like when it comes down to the end of the season, and this defense has taken you to the championship games or how far you guys are going to make it in the playoffs, and you can't put it together, it comes down to you. This is a good team. You need to go out there and you need to show why you can quarterback this team to beat a good team that is the Chargers. And I know the Chargers look kind of off. They're 2-2 this season, but still, yet the Chargers have a good roster and a good defense. So that being said, Dak Prescott, I want to see you go out there and have a good team. And obviously the defense kind of let the Cowboys down, wasn't really as explosive.
I think they'll bounce back this week.
I think they will bounce back, and I think
Herbert.
they needed that snap back to reality. I think this is a good game to test them against. Like you said, Herbert, as much ribbons as the Chargers can offer, but the problem with the Chargers right now is the one game ain't the best. So I think the Dallas Cowboys is gonna eat them alive, not to a sense of yeah, I just think it's gonna not be a blowout, but it's gonna be a less competitive game. It swings real heavy, Dallas. Sorry for that long-winded answer.
Oh, no problem. Cowboys, it is for you too. Okay, good. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the Week 6 matchups of Premium Takes. I think that also will be closing out our show soon, as I don't really have much else to talk about. But
I just have to say one thing. Shout out to Victor Wanyama for playing excellent. Spurs right now. I know it's preseason, but we'll see what happens. And I just want to say this because this is now not clickbait, because we had the NBA in the title. That's it. We talked about basketball, people. That's all you're getting this week.
Listen, the NBA is going to be starting up soon in 2 weeks. That's when the real bullets will fly. We'll really see if that Damian Lillard trade will help out Milwaukee the way we think it will. I think that'll make them the number 1 seed, as there will be nobody that can cover them. They'll have at least 4 players on the floor who can score at least 15 points a game and play defense in the back end. And there's nobody that really is a threat in the East. The Western Conference is usually the one that is a stronger conference. Boston, the thing about Boston, I want to love them, but they are such a choke artist.
Such a choke artist.
I love Jason Tatum and everything. He's great and everything like that. But sometimes you show
Drew Holiday now, right? You think they're gonna do it, and guess what, Adam? You said it perfectly.
What? They choke. I mean,
Drew Holiday. It's not gonna happen. I'm just a hater, man. I'm at Jimmy Butler. I'm in emo mode.
Well, listen, Jimmy B, they went last year. I think they're a good team, but they don't put enough around him to win, so that's the only problem with them. But with that being said, it's going to be a good NBA season. We'll get into that as it comes up. This has been your Week 6 edition of Premium Takes, Zion Zenith. I'm Adam Costas. Zion, tell them where they can find you and what you're doing.
Absolutely. You can find me on Zion Zenith. Have a big announcement. Well, not really major announcement, but probably going to be doing a little bit of things. It is the Zion Zenith Sports and Entertainment channel. Don't want to take the time too long on here, but I'm going to probably do some recaps on some trailers that came out that I'm pretty interested. There's a new Dragon Ball Z anime that's coming out that I didn't want to kind of break down. And obviously you can catch me for the sports and the breakdowns on Zion Zenith on YouTube. Let's get it. Thank you, Adam.
Zion,
thank you so much for hosting.
Zion Zenith doing the pop culture stuff, getting you ready for your anime binging. Me, I am the hurry up. I'm going to try to bring the show back a little bit. It's been on a hiatus. looked at my shows. The last show I gave you was week 2. There's been a lot going on, a lot to talk about, but I kind of wanted to wait in the weeds to see what would happen. But now that I'm on my island and it's becoming more populated, I think I can get back and do some videos for you guys. You can also catch me and Mac on Wednesdays when we will recap all these NFC East games for you, the good, the bad, the ugly. And then, of course, on Friday night next week, we will be recapping all the Week 5 games, updating you on the USC Notre Dame game, show you how that went, how both of us feel about that team. And, of course, we're always here. Throw your fours up at him for the good guy above us, Mac the Giant fan. And we have Jeffy T.
If I get a die, I don't stop. She's such a good guy.
Our angel is Jeff, but we can't forget about Mac the Zion fan. He probably feels like he's dying right now because he's sick of the dog. We love him to death. We miss you, Mac. We need you. We see you.
Absolutely,
Jeff.
Mac.
See you guys later.
Jeff.
Thanks for being here. I'm out.